always liked tactical turn-based shooters, hate missing a 95% shot, and have always loved manga and anime, especially the art style. So, why not put all those together? Hi there, welcome to SodaCast Studio and the first devlog for Bullet Maidens. Bullet Maidens is a tactical, turn-based shooter focused on a group of schoolgirls protecting their school. The world is under attack from an unknown and powerful enemy, but they will do whatever they can to keep their school safe. I especially wanted the gameplay to not depend on chance like many other games. I mean, seriously, how do you miss that? And also for the story to be very engaging for the player. To start, I learned a lot about coding in Unity, for years really. Then, more recently, I learned more about making this kind of game. I also wrote a draft of the story. I'll flesh that out later because reading it now brings me actual pain with everything I need to rewrite and improve. Then, after making a prototype, I was ready to make a demo. I didn't have the demo even started before signing up for the Taipei Game Show to show the game, but you know what they say, deadlines are what get things done. With the prototype, I had scripts and a few models, but that was about it. So first, I needed to get a level ready. The game is largely set in a school, so I made a part of the school as the game level. I used some assets from the asset store and then constructed the layout with walls. To follow the grid that I had originally constructed for the prototype, I also needed to add some invisible collider walls to properly block off some of the squares. Then I tested these out to make sure they worked. Excellent. Once the layout was done, I added details such as lockers, desks, and so on. I also like to try and do a bit of environmental storytelling, such as here with the desk knocked over. Games allow for the player to notice things like this and infer what happened. It's much more interesting for the player that way, instead of just having a box show up and explain things. A tip here for placing items is that you can copy multiple things in Unity and then paste and move them together. It's much faster. You may have noticed a strange pink color here. Let me show you how to fix that. Sometimes this problem is due to having too many mesh elements without having equal materials. So here you can see me deleting elements in the mesh renderer until there's one left and the problem goes away. Another reason this can happen is because the materials are in the wrong render pipeline. I'm currently using the universal render pipeline, and these weren't originally intended for that. So you choose the materials, then go to edit, and all the way at the bottom, rendering, materials, convert materials to the correct pipeline. Now it's all fine. With the level all done, I needed to add the girls and enemies. The girls are Rutian, Xueting, Jiayao, Xinrou, and Lefeng. To make them, I used a free program called Vroid. It allows for a lot of customization of 3D models. The end product isn't quite polished enough for full release, but it gets the idea across. Sadly, I was also limited in what I could make, so I had to settle for bandits and occultists in rather plain clothes. After designing a character and exporting it, I then brought it over to Blender. This is so that later changing certain aspects of the character will be easier. I then used a program to import the Vroid character into Unity and then added the Blender model. There were some problems, but after selecting the correct pipeline, it was all fine. Then I added the materials to the Blender model and saved a new prefab. This process had to be done for each unit, and now you can see all of them, looking pretty good. Now I wanted the game demo to have fog of war, so the player doesn't know what is coming up and where the enemies are, kind of like how the girls would feel. I added some black boxes to block the view and then made some code to have it disappear either when the girls move to a certain location or when a door is opened. It worked out very well. Then I needed to add some polish. I had some sound effects, found some great free music. This is definitely a great time to be a game developer. Lots of free things to use that save an enormous amount of time and effort. I was running out of time before the deadline of the Game Expo, but needed to add a few more things. I made the main menu, coded the buttons, and added a quick instruction screen. I need to improve this later, especially, but it was all the time I had before the deadline. Now let's check out the game. The way the game avoids using random chance without just having each shot always hit is with tactical points. Each unit has a certain amount, and every time a unit shoots, the shooter and target need to bet tactical points. If the attacker bets equal or more, the target is hit. otherwise it's a miss. But you need to be careful because any points used for attack can't be used for defense. So you could use all 10 points, but then you are defenseless. This lets the player have more control instead of just hoping for a roll of the die. Other abilities like swords also use tactical points, but those automatically hit. To balance that, they don't do as much damage. Playing it myself, it was very fun and good for a demo to show the concept. There's still more I wanted to add before the game show, for instance some story scenes, but I ran out of time. I worked right up to the last minute and finally got a mostly suitable demo ready. Seeing other people play my game at the game show was a treasure trove of information. I could see many things I needed to improve in order to help the player understand. For instance, I forgot to tell the player at first that you can rotate the camera in the instructions, so I added that right after I noticed. But I also saw that players had trouble realizing when the action points were out and that they could use all the girls. I didn't have the time to fix those during the game show, but now I made the action buttons appear disabled when there are no more action points. I still need to make it more clear that all the girls can be used. There are many more things I saw I needed to make more clear or just fix, so I have a lot of work ahead of me. I also want to make positioning more important with the cover system that will give bonuses to tactical points, bonuses and penalties for distance, as well as many other features you will see in future logs. It will be exciting to see the game take shape. Thank you for watching. Please add this game to your wishlist on Steam, link below. It greatly helps the studio and shows that there are gamers interested in Bullet Maidens. Also, subscribe to the newsletter link below to get the latest news on the game. Finally, please like and follow me on Odyssey or subscribe on YouTube, but all videos will first be on Odyssey. See you in the next game devlog for Bullet Maidens.